ਵਿਖਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਧਰਤੀ ਤੇ ਪੈਰ ਪਾਇਆ, ਪਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਦੂਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਝੌਂਪੜੀ ਚੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਦੀਪਕ ਨੇ ਸਿਰ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ। ਉਸਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਹਨੇਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਚੈਲੰਜ ਕਰਦਾ।
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'm going to read the handwritten note that Jaggi gave his account of what he went through from the 4th to the 7th of November. The physical torture took place over 4 days, from the 4th until the 7th of November at Mocha. On 4th November, I was arrested and taken to Mocha, where I was subjected to beatings. My top was moved and I was struck on my chest and back. 2 people would simultaneously hit me whilst others restrained me and watched. Crocodile clips were placed on my ears and I was electrocuted. On 5th November, I was presented in court and remanded to police custody for 5 days, then taken back to the interrogation centre. On the evening of 5th November, I was stripped and beaten. I was given electric shocks and legs were pulled apart numerous times. This continued until the 7th of November. The torture took place intermittently, numerous times each day. Electric shocks were administered by placing crocodile clips on my ears, lobes, nipples and private parts. Multiple shocks were given each day. My legs were pulled apart 4 to 5 times each time I was questioned, and this took place numerous times each day. After my legs were pulled apart, my legs would be pumped in order to give me temporary relief, in order to ask me questions, which was followed by my legs being pulled again. The electric shocks would also be given at this time. Each time the act of pulling my legs would take place, the pain would increase. At some stages I was left unable to walk and had to be carried out of the interrogation room. Since then I have had problems urinating. The room in which I was tortured was a plain room next to the main office, where the officers would sit and discuss before taking part and ordering the torture. 3 officers would sit and order the torture whilst others watched and shouted obscenities and encouraged further torture. 2 people would stretch my legs. Another would slap and strike me from behind. And the shocks were given by the seated officers. My family members were also threatened to receive the same treatment, and orders were given to arrest my wife and my cousin sister, whom were initially with me when I was arrested. Threats of taking me to a remote location where I would be shot dead were also given. At one point, petrol was brought into the room as I was threatened with being burnt. The police forced me to make recordings in which I had to narrate according to what they were telling me to say. Blank papers were also signed from me and other documents also which I was not allowed to read. This is what Dr. Jaggi endured from the 4th and 7th of November. I've had to keep this to myself until last weekend when it was released to the public. You now know how I have felt over the last 4 months, having kept this to myself. Not even my family knew what Jaggi went through. The UK government were fully aware of what Jaggi went through. They have not done anything. Jaggi needs you to be his voice. We cannot be silent. We cannot let this torture continue. Jaggi needs to be released and back with his family. Please continue to support the Free Jaggi Now campaign and raise his voice to the highest level that the Indian government and the UK government can hear. Please support the Free Jaggi Now campaign. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
ਜ਼ੋਰ ਵਿਖਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਧਰਤੀ ਤੇ ਪੈਰ ਪਾਇਆ, ਪਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਦੂਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਝੌਂਪੜੀ ਚੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਦੀਪਕ ਨੇ ਸਿਰ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ। ਉਸਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਹਨੇਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਚੈਲੰਜ ਕਰਦਾ।